brought to you by the Officer Tatum Store. The Officer Tatum Store. Get the merch link in the description section. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live or make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Let's get into this. So y'all know I had to make a video about this. You know I had to make a video about this foolery that's going on in Atlanta, Georgia. The public officials, starting from the chief all the way through, should go to prison for what they have done to the city and what they've done to the police department. This is a shame. This is a real injustice. Like people were fighting for George Floyd, we should be fighting for these officers. How in the world do you get indicted or you get at least arrested for doing your job according to Georgia law? So I'm going to go through this whole thing because here we go again. Ignorant Negroes and other fools in our society are taking the side of another criminal that had no business doing what he was doing, a threat to the public, a person that did not spend his life doing the right thing against police officers, and now people are going to jail, people are riding it all over again. B. Tatum finna set the record straight. We're going to start with Rayshard Brooks. Rayshard Brooks was a criminal. Rayshard Brooks was charged with false imprisonment, simple battery against the family, and cruelty to children. Now, the case report is not available to me, so I don't know exactly what he did, but I looked up Georgia law, and that means that he had physically committed violence against either his baby mama or his kids or both. And false imprisonment, meaning that they wanted to leave and he refused to allow them to leave. And I doubt it's just the children, because the children don't have a vehicle to leave, or they don't have a availability to leave outside of an adult's control. This is what you're dealing with. He was sentenced to 7 years. He did 1 year in prison. He was on probation for the next 6 years. Violated his probation twice. Had a DUI before. So on this day that the incident occurred, Rayshard Brooks is passed out drunk in a motor vehicle, which is one of the most dangerous things you can do at almost any crime involving drugs or alcohol. I have physically seen the effects of drunk drivers completely destroying people's lives. I have had to pick them up off of the freeway, put them in body bags, looking at their family pictures, because dummies want to go out there and get plastered drunk and get behind the wheel. That is the first mistake. Then he goes, and instead of being a normal person, he fight the police officers. They could have shot him at the time he took the taser, but they didn't, because they was using restraint. They went through the force continuum like pros. They did not shoot him. They attempted to tase him. He runs away from them. Of course, they have to give chase, ladies and gentlemen, unless your mind is blown, or at least you're not functioning properly up here in the mental capacity. They had every right to chase him. He is no longer a DUI suspect. He is now assaulted police officers, and he's used force to steal one of their less lethal weapons. He is a danger to the public. A person who is that desperate to get away from the police that he will go that far, what's the next thing he's going to do? Is he going to commandeer a vehicle? Is he going to run out into traffic? Is he going to run to a undisclosed location where he's going to get a gun and get into a heightened altercation with the police officers? Is he going to turn around and continue to fight? He already discharged a taser at one of the officers. Everything that he did led to his death is his fault. 100% his fault. Now let's talk about the police officers. So there is no way on God green earth that they should have charged these police officers with anything. Like I said before, they followed the law to the T. In Georgia law, a doggone taser is considered a firearm. All you gotta do is look it up. I said it in my last video and showed the statute. It is considered a firearm. When pointing a firearm or a deadly weapon at somebody, they have the right, especially as a police officer, to defend themselves. If they are in fear of physical bodily injury and or death, they can defend themselves with deadly force. That's written in the law. I read it on my last video. And the funny thing is that not too long ago, they just arrested a few police officers in Atlanta for pointing a taser at some kids, which I believe that the police officers were justified, but they charged them with threatening kids with a deadly weapon. But then when they talk about Rayshard Brooks, they act like the taser is no longer a deadly weapon. Somebody explain to me the hypocrisy. And then we move forward. I don't know what they're trying to prove in this situation by arresting these police officers, putting a warrant out for their arrest. They even charged one of the police officers with a round that hit a occupied vehicle. What are you talking about? A police they have an exception, or they have a privilege of acting in good faith. If you are trying to save somebody's life and you inadvertently shoot an object or a vehicle, which didn't hurt anybody, you cannot charge a police officer with aggravated assault, because that means that there's some intent there. There was no intent for him to shoot the vehicle. There's not culpable. The culpable mental state of that charge is not present. And it makes me sick to my stomach that they're doing this. It makes me sick. And I hope every police officer, like we've already seen in Atlanta, I heard 3 or 4 of 6 substations, police have just walked off the job. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you want. This is what you're about to get. Make way for a war zone. Because police officers can walk off the job and you can't fire them all. And if they walk off the job and they resign from their position, you are obligated as a city to pay them their sick leave. You are obligated as a city to return the money that they vested into the pension system. So what are you going to do then? What are you going to do when they all walk off the police department because they're fed up with your BS? What are you going to do when they walk off of the police department because you guys are arresting them for doing their job according to the law? I'm telling you, this is not what you want. If you think the homicide rate and the crime rate has gone up over 200% in Chicago, Illinois, Baltimore, Maryland, up 200%. It's going to go up 4, 5, 6, 700% if you have no police officers that are there to be proactively policing, or police officers that are there to arrest people who are making offenses and committing crimes. What about the people drinking and driving? No police officers. Hey, you can drink and drive, get a free-for-all. You run into somebody, you mow down a family, that's on the family, I guess, because you ain't got no police officers there to help you out. You have no DUI officers to do any investigatory measures. You have nothing. When somebody at the house and some dude break in your house and do something to your wife, what you gonna do? And if you ain't got no gun, you in trouble. This country cannot survive without police officers. They cannot survive without police officers. Ask me how I know. Not because I was a police officer and I'm biased. It's because I did the job on a day-to-day basis. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, police are out there working. If the crime wasn't so bad and you can live without police, they wouldn't need to have a shift from midnight to 7 o'clock in the morning. But they have a shift from that time. Why? Because people are committing most of the crimes in that time period while you sleep. But you wouldn't know that because you have no functional understanding of police. Not the people watching this. I'm talking about some idiot that just decide to drop in and be an SJW. I'm sick of it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sick of it. And as soon as I can find the family of these officers, I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to raise money so we can pay for bail. We can pay for them to get off, because it is not reasonable that you would charge a police officer for doing this job. It's not reasonable. And these officers are done with it. I'm done with it. It's time to rebel. It's time for us to come out, because it's no more season for them to be able to burn down stuff and act a fool and beat up police officers and do all that. Now it's time for people like you and I to stand up legally and do what's right. Support the police officers. Support our freedom to protest what's going on in these cities, because this enough is enough. If these people wanted to have a real conversation about police brutality, that conversation can be had. If they really wanted to diagnose which black people in this country were misused, we can have that conversation. But to put Michael Brown, Philando Castile, to put Sandra Bland, who committed suicide in a jail cell, to put Trayvon Martin, you putting all of these people in the same category as Walter Scott and Laquan McDonald and George Floyd, you're an idiot. And you're never going to get anything done. And I'll tell you what, I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. I can go on in another video about it, but I'm not going to do that at this point. They charged them with 11 charges. They charged both officers in the situation, fired them, and now they may be indicted. I could go on, but I want you to watch the rest of my videos. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Is B Tatum tripping? Are you sick of this BS? Like and subscribe to the channel. Visit the Officer Tatum store where you get all the cool merch. Back the blue discount code. Back the blue discount code if you made it to the end of this video. You can use that discount code. I love you. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you on the next video. Y'all know what it is. I'm out.